One of Rhode Island's most publicized success story companies has just gone through a layoff, what's been described as a mass exodus of employees. Mark Murphy is the editor of the Providence Business News. The company involved is Alex Anani. The story about the layoffs is on the front page of today's edition of the paper. And to our knowledge, these layoffs are other than the previously announced ones at their retail store in Providence to make way for Alex Anani University. This is something else, right?
Yes, it is. It's really a shakeup at the administrative level. And we think that it kind of follows in with the resignation and the leaving of Giovanni Ferrocci, who was the CEO.
And what more do you know about why this all came about? Were they all Ferrocci's people? Is that what this was?
Well, that seems to be the case, but the company really isn't talking about it, and the people who were laid off had to sign non-disclosure and non-compete clauses in order to get their severance packages. So we were able to find one person who didn't, because he wanted to keep working in the area, in his talent. And so we were able to get some details there, and then and that really is sort of the extent of it. So we think it looks like a lot of these are C-suite people. So the CFO was let go, was hired by Ferrocci, the COO, the Chief Strategy Officer, and the CFO is the only one who's been replaced so far, and the other ones seem to be replaced by people who are doing the jobs who are VPs.
You know, this company gets so much publicity, it's under the microscope when good things happen and when bad things happen, and this is why I think so many people are concerned about it, because it is such a driver of the Rhode Island economy. Yeah,
and you know, what's interesting is at the same time that these things were happening, these changes were going on. For instance, they just shuttered Seven Swords Media, which had been a company, a fast-growing division on its own, and in fact, it had landed on Inc. magazine's fastest-growing companies. It was one of our fastest-growing companies, and it looks like this shakeup actually scuttled a sale of that division as well. So there were a lot of moving parts here. But one of the things I want to say is that in addition, at the same time that these layoffs were happening, the company was announcing that they were going to be adding about 250 employees nationwide.
We've got a breakdown of that, by the way, too, along with the 40 layoffs. 70 new jobs locally, 180 across the country over the next 6 months.
Yeah, so you know, there are different things going on here, and the company was very active in publicizing the growth, but they've been a little bit reticent to talk about the changes, the layoffs, and the loss of jobs.
And there's more about all of this in today's Providence Business News. And Mark Murphy, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Frank.